Most of us enjoy burning money. Consider the facts. Over 60% of the workforce avoids negotiation completely when an offer is made, and over 50% of the workforce lacks the confidence to ask for a raise after the fact. This doesn't seem right when you consider the outsized impact that money has on our lives. It can determine the outcome and timing of important life events such as getting married, having kids, buying a house, or retiring. Yet, the data suggests that most of us accept the first offer made by employers. To make this sting a little bit more, how about this fact? More than 50% of those employers make low offers because they expect us to negotiate. We are literally leaving money on the table. But what's the big deal? After all, a few extra bucks in our pocket aren't worth coming off as greedy or upsetting our new employer, right? Well, let's think about this for a minute. I want you to imagine that you are a contestant on a new game show where the host hands you a lighter and a paper bag before guiding you over to a table where a lot of cash is lined up in neat stacks. The host then gives you two options: place the money in the bag and walk away, or light it on fire and burn it all. Not only would this show be a little weird, but it would also be the most boring show to watch because everyone would just take the money and walk away. To do otherwise would be considered absolutely crazy. Yet this is exactly what the vast majority of us do every day when we leave money on the table after a job offer is made, even if the money on the table is just a small amount. Let's look at the numbers to show how much impact this small amount can have on our lifetime earnings. First, my assumptions. Our starting salary is $50,000, and our career duration is 36 years. According to the Department of Labor, the number of jobs the average person will have in a career is 12. So let's assume an even 3 years per job since we are working 36 years. The Society for Human Resource Management tells us the average yearly pay increase in 2021 was 2.6%. So we will assume this number remains consistent over the course of our 36 years. Since we are changing jobs every 3 years, let's assume a 5% increase if we don't negotiate versus a 10% increase if we do. The data on salary increase when switching jobs is all over the place, with some estimating it to be as high as 25%. So I think our 5 to 10% range is very conservative. I will spare you the math on this, but based on these assumptions, you will earn roughly $3.4 million by the end of your career. Not bad at all, but it could have been much better. If you were to increase your offer by mere 5% every time you change jobs, then your total earnings would have been $4.7 million. So it looks like at least 60% of the population is deciding to burn the $1.3 million difference rather than take it. So why do so many of us fail to negotiate? What is it about this conversation that is so hard to do for so many people? I think it's because we can't remove the personal from the process. Unlike other negotiations we may engage in over our career, whether selling a product or negotiating a new contract with a vendor, this one is far more personal. It's easier to negotiate for someone else than it is for ourselves. Think about a sales professional who closes a contract with a client. Most salespeople that I know have no problem negotiating terms with potential buyers, and most will have no trouble separating themselves from the process. Even if they benefit directly from closing the client due to a commission payout, they still don't have the same personal connection to the outcome. They are just playing a game called negotiation. If this client doesn't close, they will close another. It's just a numbers game. But a job offer is something completely different. Things suddenly change when we become the negotiator and the product all wrapped up into one. There's a lot of emotion embedded within this conversation because so much is riding on it. And as many experts in this space may tell you, it is tough to negotiate anything when we are emotionally attached to the outcome. My hope is that by the time you finish this course, you will feel more comfortable with the process, more prepared for it, and more confident in your ability to handle offer negotiation with the best of them. Based on our boring book series, which includes a boring book about negotiation, this course is broken down into 3 parts. In part 1, we will focus on when to negotiate, who we are negotiating with, and what we are negotiating for. In part 2, we will discuss how to approach the bargaining table. Topics will include a primer on persuasion, emotional cognition, BATNA, linguistic mirroring, and the anchoring bias. We will discover the power of powerless communication and learn how to leverage the kindness factor to our advantage. These may seem like foreign concepts now, but they will soon become an essential part of your negotiating arsenal. Finally, we will wrap up with part 3 by having a detailed discussion on offer evaluation and learning how to respond to it. This includes a framework to help us determine whether we should negotiate or just walk away from an offer. As part of this course, you will also receive the transcript for each lesson in the downloadable content below, along with practical exercises and reference documents to help you work through the process and improve your skills. Of course, you can also purchase a boring book about negotiation if you want to take a deeper dive on any of the topics that we cover in this course. It's available as either a paperback, ebook, or audiobook and can be purchased on Amazon, Apple Books, or Google Play. Click on the link in the course material below to learn more. Up next, we will begin our program with a discussion about mindset. See you then.